There's a lot going on here. So as a program manager here, a challenge is just trying to create scalable, repeatable experiences in different products on different surfaces. It's a unique challenge, but it's a really wonderful one too.
Welcome to Heroes of the Creative Revolution. Today's guest is Bria Alexander, a seasoned program manager in the fields of design operations and generative AI at Adobe. Today, she'll be talking about the unique challenges of creating experiences across diverse Adobe products on various platforms, and her journey from sales to leading initiatives in generative AI, sharing insights on navigating career transitions and the importance of community involvement in DesignOps.
Hey, Bria, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We'd love to, start simple and just get more information about your background in DesignOps and generative AI.
Hi, Thomas. Hi, audience. It's so excited to meet you. So excited to be here today. And yeah, my background is actually in sales. So I came into tech, period, as a sales enablement program manager. So we did a lot of sales trainings for folks here at Adobe who just needed to understand what products we sell and how to sell them. So that's how I got started. After about 3.5 or 4 years of that, I was ready for a change. I'd had an internship at CAA doing some brand work. And so that shininess, entertainment marketing thing was still part of my charter. And I was super duper lucky to work at a company that had something in the vicinity of that in design operations. So I transferred from the sales department over into the design department as initially a brand experience program manager. And I did that for almost 4 years. And then I have moved up the ranks ever since. Yeah. So I did something called Unified Experience for a while, working with components and design systems. And now I'm in the Gen AI space as a program manager as well. And it's been a wonderful time. I'm super grateful to Adobe and all my mentors and peers for helping me be able to navigate this ecosystem so well. But I'm incredibly grateful. I love what I do. I also do a lot of, I call it extracurricular work with the Rosenfeld community and the DesignOps community. I've been the MC for them for about 4 years now on their design operations conference and the lead curator for the design operations conference for a few years now as well. So it's been an incredible journey. I'm incredibly grateful to the wonderful people I've met in this industry and along the way. And I'm excited to see what the future holds, both with the Gen AI and also in the design operations community.
And I'm curious, these days, or better question, where do you represent as your hometown? Where are you from?
I'm very much from San Jose, California. I was born in San Jose. I was raised in San Jose. I think I'm the third generation of Black people living in San Jose of my family. So yeah, I am very much for the few, the brave, and the proud people from San Jose, California. I have been here. My family's been here for generations. I'm embarking on a move across the country soon. And everyone keeps asking me, are you from the South? Are you from, where are your people from the South? And I'm like, no, we're the California Blacks. I don't know how else to say it. We've been here for a long time.
Nice. You got to have people representing on both coasts, right?
Absolutely.
So with your role at Adobe, I'm curious, what are some unique challenges that you think the design team there faces and how do you work through them?
Yeah. So Adobe is a wonderful place to be a program manager because we have an incredible community, but we've got this really robust ecosystem of products, software products. So we've got our Creative Cloud products, which you might be familiar with, and they also run across all sorts of different platforms. So both on mobile and desktop and the web and on iPad and on Vision Pro coming soon. Like we've got so many different products on so many different services. And then a lot going on here. So as a program manager here, a challenge is just trying to create scalable, repeatable experiences in different products on different surfaces. It's a unique challenge, but it's a really wonderful one too. I feel like I'm super well prepared for whatever my career will bring, whether I leave Adobe or not. I feel like I've done it all. I've created applications for mobile. I've worked on an iPad app. I've created processes and products or help us create products on the web. It's a challenge, but it's so awesome. I feel like every day I get something different.
Is there a particular process or way you work that you think is helping you overcome the challenge of having so many different platforms and the products to kind of manage the design for?
I think for me, it's less tactical. It's just like patience, being nice to people, understanding that everyone is doing the absolute best they can do, whether they have the answer you're looking for or not. Forgiveness, patience, these are all things that have really aided me in my job. And just being willing to ask questions. The probably most important, I guess, advice I would give to anyone in their career as they continue to grow is truly don't be afraid to ask questions. I've been in the room with other executives, and the number one thing I notice is they just straight up ask the questions. They're like, this doesn't make any sense. There are too many acronyms. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. Just being comfortable with asking the straightforward question to just say, I don't know what you're saying and I don't know what you mean makes such a big difference. As a leader, you can become more of the leader that you can be if you're willing to just cut right through and ask the questions you're thinking and not be so afraid that people will call you out. I know for me, I was always afraid. I'm like, no, they'll find out I don't know. And so everyone knows but me. Like, that was always a fear of mine. And as I get older and as I continue to grow in my career, I'm starting to realize, oh no, no one knows what's going on. You might be the bravest one in the room just asking what's happening.
But you talked about understanding your team's wider needs and also individual needs and how people are operating. I'm curious, in your role, like, how do you get the team to fire on all cylinders, like optimize the workflow so that the team's operating on maximum efficiency?
I think clarity is almost always something that people are searching for, and will, like, with clarity comes like understanding of what needs to be done. Like, whenever I see that there's a lot of efficiency problems or folks are having trouble getting to where we're trying to get them to, more often than not, there's a lack of clarity either from whoever's asking the project, or they just, sometimes the designers that I work with just don't know even what questions to ask based on who the stakeholder is. So for me, I'm always trying to drive towards clarity no matter what, even like reiterating things, making sure, saying it back. Again, these are these sales skills I used or honed at the beginning of my career, where you say what you want, they say it back, they say what they want, you say it back to them. Just really always driving towards clarity. Again, especially in the work that we do, it can be so easy to get lost amongst the weed and the acronyms, but always pushing to clarity has helped my designers and helped me personally and my peers to make sure that we're all fully on the same page about what we're here to do.
Is there a particular instance where you feel like the clarity provided or like the clarity achieved by going through just that made a huge difference in the outcome of a design?
So in my work as a curator for the Rosenfeld folks, man, it can be really easy. If anyone has ever curated anything, a conference, an art gallery, or anything, it can be really, really easy to have some scope creep around what you're like initially intending to do versus like what might be possible. For me, in driving towards clarity in my work with Rosenfeld, it's been really helpful for me to say, all right, folks, what are our themes? Okay, does this fall into the theme or not? All right, let's look at the total to highlight what the conference looks like this year. All righty, what do we feel like we're missing? We get hundreds and hundreds of requests for people to join the conference. How do we pick A, the quality of the submission, and also B, what fits the themes for the year the closest, what seems to kind of hit the mark of all the curators are trying to communicate that particular year. So I'm not sure if that answered your question, but it is one way that comes to mind for me of ways that I've been able to use my drive towards clarity to help get things done.
How are you currently leveraging AI to help your work and your team's work?
I use AI all the time, specifically ChatGPT, whenever I'm like, how do I want to answer this email in a way where I'm trying to say this, but I definitely can't say it like this. ChatGPT, you have any suggestions? And that usually turns out pretty great. ChatGPT's copywriting skills are pretty outstanding. I was doing a personal project and I was talking to my mom. I was like, how do I say this to her in a way that's like nicer? And I put the same message we were drafting together, we put it into ChatGPT, and I was like, how do we say this nicer? And I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. No. So in my personal life and my professional life, ChatGPT, shout out to OpenAI, has been so incredibly useful. But also, I work at Adobe. I have to give our own shout out to Adobe Firefly, which has been super duper great for, again, my personal projects, whether it's been a birthday flyer for my mom's birthday or just other stuff for my own personal project. I'm throwing an award show for my neighbors. We're calling it the neighborhood awards show I use ChatGPT to come up with all the categories and descriptions. Anyway, that's all my business out there. But that being said, I use it a lot.
And I mean, now that your business is out there, I'm not prying if I do another question, because that sounds hilarious, but also so much fun. What are some of the categories for the neighborhood awards?
Oh my God, I'll tell you. So we've got Neighbor of the Year. So the neighbor that like qualifies all the wonderful things. And then we've got, I think, recycling, like best person that advocates for recycling, best like porch maestro or something like this, porch party maestro. What's another one I put in there? Block beautification champion, community connector award given to the person who excels in bringing neighbors together, fostering a sense of community through events, gatherings, or social initiatives. Outstanding Pet Pal Award, recognizing the pet owner who actively contributes and promotes responsible pet ownership. Home Sweet Home Decor Prize given to the resident with the most aesthetically pleasing and decorated decor. Street Spirit Award. Porch Party Maestro. Recycling Hero Plaque. Safety Sentinel Shield. Good Vibes Ambassador. Welcome Wagon Wanderer. You get it.
Talking about AI for a moment, generative and non-generative, how are you and your team using it to enhance your processes and affect the overall deliverables that you produce?
Yeah, it's such a great point and a great question since people have all these chat tools available to them. And I must say, sometimes being like a fly on the wall in some Slack conversations, I'm like, you guys don't talk like this. You guys are using a chatbot because what a concise way to explain yourself. Gosh. And what a concise way you're explaining yourself. As someone who works with these people, and to some of them a number of years, I'm like, I know you don't speak like this. Nobody speaks like this. So I would say we're better communicators in general. Like, I think a lot of folks who are growing in their careers struggle to do the corporate speak. But now the beautiful thing about it is you can just put in what you're trying to say, ask ChatGPT to make it into corporate speak for you, and the deliverable is right there. But not just that, we also have a number of really awesome tools in Photoshop, like generative creation tools in Photoshop and Illustrator on the web and on the desktop that have enabled us as creators outside of our work to create things, but also to explain ourselves and become as clear as possible in the way that we visually communicate. So again, text to image in Firefly is another awesome example of ways that we can just write in what we're trying to talk about, illustrate it perfectly, throw that into a slide deck, and illustrate whatever point we're trying to make. That is a use case I see all of the time internally here. So many ways. Honestly, we haven't even really untapped the big ones yet. Another one that comes to mind is like recording meetings. They'll have a chatbot that listens to the entire conversation, summarize it, and sends it back to us after the meeting, which is incredible. I know there's a number of security risks though, which is why I think Adobe has been a little bit more hesitant to kind of lead the charge on those type of, transcribing software. But it's really awesome. It's really amazing. It's really wonderful to see that. I feel like we're going to have just smarter employees when we can take these tedious tasks off our plate and focus on more big picture strategic thinking. And I'm incredibly grateful to be a part of the team that gets to think about what that might look like for not just here at Adobe, but the whole world. Again, incredibly grateful, super excited for everything that's to come. And as disruptive as it's been, I want to encourage people and remind them that just because the economy's down does not mean that AI has taken your job. Because even in the layoffs I have seen, people are just living with the gaps. They're not replacing the gap of employment with what a GPT can do. It's just not quite that good yet. At least that's my perspective. I'm more than welcome to hear others.
And then I was going to ask too, what do you do for fun outside of work? What are you passionate about?
Girl, I will say, girl, let me tell you. God, I love music. I love live music. I love going to shows. I love going to concerts. I love to travel. I've got this long, expansive list of places I'll go in 2024. One of them is St. Lucia. So if we have another podcast, I'll call you and let you know if St. Lucia was worth the hype. It looks stunning. So I'm super duper excited about that. And yeah, what else do I like to do? Shopping, fashion. Honestly, like exercise has been a really big part of my life. I've been really into hot yoga recently. That's
Hot
been
yoga.
like really, really hot, like 120 degrees hot, 50% humidity like. And when I first did it, I was like, oh my God, it's so hot in here. I'm so miserable. And then I walked out, I'm like, wow, I feel so much better. And so all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, just a little bit of pain to get to the prize. And I've never had a more effective workout than that. Like usually I'm at Zumba, I'm running, I'm walking, and I don't see like a significant like change in my body, but hot yoga has been the most effective workout I've ever experienced. So I've been into that recently. Honestly, I want to teach it one day, but for now like I said, I'm in the middle of a move. I got a lot of other stuff going on. So that's on my later on my 20, not just 2020, but just the whole decade of 2020 to 2030. That's on that vision board. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, music, food. I'm so boring. Music, food, fashion. But yeah, I'm into what I feel like everyone else is into. Same stuff, different day.
That's good. That's not boring at all, right? I think there's a lot of variety within each of those you said. So
I'm like also an Audible captain. Like I've been doing a lot of driving. I'm in San Jose, from San Jose to San Francisco and back. It's like an hour commute for those who aren't familiar each way. So an hour there and an hour back. So I've been like the Audible captain. I've been reading so many great audiobooks. I was never like a super avid audiobook reader, but since I've got so much commuting time now, I'm like really into books. Love that. Really good books. Been in like fantasy genre lately. Also,
So what have you read or listened to recently that's really piqued your interest or got you excited?
it has nothing to do with design ops, so you guys let me know, but I'm reading this book called How to Raise a Feminist Son. I don't have any children. I'm not raising any children, but it is super interesting to see and hear how like getting young boys to think outside of their own perspective can impact their outcomes later on in life. That's been super interesting, and I recommend it to anyone who just wants something interesting to read. The author is super funny.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. And I was going to ask, who else do you draw inspiration from within the design ops community?
I think I would pick Oveta Sampson for sure. She's like adjacent to the design ops community. She's spoken at a conference or two, but she is also in the generative AI space. She's a VP at Google. Don't get me to lie. And I'm pretty sure she's a VP at Google. In generative AI, she used to work at Capital One, and before that, she was at IDEO. I met her at the Afrotech conference. Oh my God, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Cannot believe it was that long ago, but we met there, and just watching her career take off to do just the most incredible things has been one of the honors of my career. Like, she's incredible. I draw a lot of inspiration from her. I think she tells it like it is. She's super honest. She's absolutely brilliant. And she, again, seems to just have a really strong focus that enables her to get everything that she wants out of her career. And I love watching that.
That was honestly my last question. Is there anything else that you wanted to plug or shout out before we go?
I actually started opening up office hours or consulting hours, bookable consulting hours. You can book them on my LinkedIn. You can see book an appointment. It'll take you to a fancy schmancy form. So if you want any just career coaching, you just generally want to talk, you can totally sign up to do that if you want to. It's my new 2024 enterprise because my LinkedIn messages are a joke. Actually, Thomas, you had reached out to me like a month, and I didn't even see it or look at it because, again, my LinkedIn box is so full. So the program manager and me knew we needed a process. So yeah, if you guys want to reach out to me, please feel free to reach out by message, by LinkedIn. But if you cannot get a hold of me that way, go ahead and fill that book appointment form, and I'll reach out to you in a couple of days. And yeah, we can work together if you want any career coaching or just someone to help build your confidence. Whatever you need, I'm here. And also, other things to plug, DesignOps 2024, John, myself, and Lou will be there in person. And also, last thing, Advancing Research 2024, March 26th and 25th of 2024, I'll be hosting. Very excited. It's going to be a wonderful year, and I can't wait for all the exciting things. And I can't wait to hopefully connect with some of you guys in the community.
Amazing. Thank you.